Alright, this is a basic tutorial for silicone molding. Today we'll be making wound model for packing for nurses for 4x4s. I previously made 2x2 packing. What I did was I made the shape I want with Play-Doh, something like this. And then I poured a rubber molding on the other side via this way. And then once that cured, I had a rubber mold. Then I used a silicone, very soft silicone mold, very stretchy, very flesh-like, to pour on the other side, like this. Okay, and once that's cured, you get this wound model. You can add dyes into this to make it more flesh-like. Okay. For full protection, you can actually do the bottom layer as skin colored, and then the top layer this way as red. You can even add a fat layer if you want to get more immersive task trainer. Okay. So I've been requested to make a 4x4. So for this one, I'm just going to do a basic molding. I'm using clay here, or Play-Doh, and I'm making a negative mold using the clay. And what I'm going to do is I added all this stuff so that I don't have to use as much material, so it's a little cheaper and faster to make. And what I'm going to do is make sure I spray. In this case, this is ease release, but you can use any WD-40 like spray. So I'm going to do a good spray on this. That way it will get off easier. And the mixture I'm using is, I'm not sponsored by Smooth-On, but EcoFlex 20. That is the softest silicone we can use. It is the most flesh-like, but the problem is that one is also have a lower shelf life. Once it's molded, it will be damaged by sunlight and just eventually crack. EcoFlex 30 is a lot more durable and more stable, but it's also a little harder. So anyways, they come in a blue and yellow bottle. You mix ratio 1:1. Make sure you stir in the bottle before you pour it out, and then stir again to mix. Right now I have it already measured, and I've been stirring. You can't stir too much on this. Get a nice homogeneous solution here. Okay. And when you pour, you kind of want to pour from top, because the taller you pour, the less bubble and issues you have later. And also having a slimming stream will better mold to your a negative mold here. Okay, so now that's pretty well stirred up. I am going to do a pour. So always start from the lowest point. So I'm going to go around, get all the lowest point there. Okay, so there are a lot of bubbles in here, and I'll show you a way to get those out, because you don't want your silicone model to be very foamy. Alright, so that's about perfect. How much? So when that comes out, it should be a nice wound model. Okay. So it should look like this. but obviously longer and skinnier. For more complex models with harder shape, so for example, this is a penis and vagina for Foley. Okay, so we start off in a cup like this. I will put the clay model into the cup like this. All right, and then I will pour the rubber molding into the cup. Okay. Once the rubber molding is set, I pop that out. So this is the rubber molding. Okay. You see scraps of paper still attached to it. That's okay. Okay. Once you have that, you will pop. I cut this in half. All right. If I was doing this again, I would not cut straight. I would make it a zigzag cut. That way, it was more like a puzzle when you put it back together, so it locks in better. But anyways, so you have two halves here, and then I also cut this part for easy release. Because this is rubber, it's movable, and I then put these two together, line them up. Okay, once they're lined up, I put it back in the cup. Okay, then I took a pen and poked a hole through one urinary opening to the other side over here. Okay, that forms a complete hole through both sides. You can see. So for the penis and the vagina. Okay, so once that happens, I close it off the bottom. Okay, and pour the I use EcoFlex 50 for this one, so it's a little bit stiffer. Okay, but it's still pliable. Okay, and once that's set, you just do the reverse. Pop the pen out, pop this open, take the mold out, and then you have a urinary tract for vagina and penis. And then I took a scalpel and I also cut a slit for the vagina opening, just in case the student puts it in the wrong orifice. And that's it. It's pretty easy. So I will make another model of this later on, but for now, one of the ways you can remove bubble is using a vacuum container like this. It looks like a big pot, okay, with a silicone padding, and the lid has a pressure gauge on it, and I attach the hose to a vacuum suction, and basically it will suck all the bubbles out, and you can just let it cure, but make sure as it's getting cured, remove it from the vacuum, or else the bubble will hold into that shape, so you actually become more foam-like. But if you do this correctly, your mold should come out smooth without any bubbles inside. You can also add dye at this point to make this into more flesh colored if you need to. But any shape you want. I know some people are looking at cervixes. You can definitely make those. You can mold the used cervix right on top of the rubber mold to make those molds. Rubber molds will last a long time for multiple pours, so you can actually do multiple pours before it disintegrates. So that is a quick tutorial for silicone pouring and molding.